Hi there, Guillermo. Thank you for submitting your portfolio. Um, as I have told before to some of the other people applying for this, I'm primarily an environment artist, but I still think I can say something about this. Your characters are quite nice, but there are certain things that I can also see, even though my main focus is within my environment. So let's just drop through some of them and let's just see what I can do. So this, for example, let me just back up a second here. So if it's a concept that you're looking for, these kind of things look a little bit more like illustrations. So I would maybe pick a lane just to make sure that it's either illustration or concept. I know it's a bit of a tough call to say that you should focus on one thing or the other, but I think it would make it much easier for somebody hiring you to like to see that you are either one. Because this one, if I look at this, this is much more like concepty than. Let me just back off to some of these that looks more like some splash art or illustration for something. So for a conceptor, what you do is to come up with images and ideas. So this is much more like in the lane of what I would think a conceptor should do. So I guess my recommendation first off is more of this, and if this is your field, if the thing you would like to work with, then less of this, of course. I mean, it's nice to showcase, but you can definitely take some of the weaker pieces out, like for example this. I think this stays a little bit stronger. This is some of your later stuff, so I guess it's also a bit stronger than some of your older stuff. So just like maybe focus down would be my first recommendation. So maybe let's look at this. I think it's really nice that you're calling out some of, like you're calling out the back of this as well with some markings and stuff like that, because if this is for a game for 3D model, somebody would have to go in and model the character. So for them to have all the information that they need is really great. Also that you showcase some of your thought process here is quite nice. And there's some different stages of this character, so this is really good as well. Also the hair, you have different kind of like this armor piece that he has here is quite nice that you showcase different kind of stuff here. So overall, like quite nice. I like to see these kind of things at least. So maybe let's just drop into it's more of the same and the same projects I believe. And let's just maybe we can drop into some of the like something like this. I guess this is where my main focus normally is, like within environment. So this is where I can say the most. So for example, with something like this, I right off the bat I see that there's a oops, let me just very very center heavy composition. So you could definitely shift up the composition a bit. I would make it a little bit more widescreen just to make it feel a little bit more cinematic as well. So let's just try to see what we can do with that. I'll save a copy and I'll just extend the frame just like this. And I'll just change the background so I can see what we're doing. So it's quite nice to have this foreground element, but I guess let me just check if we can have it. Maybe I just need a node layer on top. So I'm always trying to think ahead and then try to sketch out what we should do. So if we have, for example, like if we divide this into 3, then I guess like maybe we should have this character going towards one of these like center points of interest, and then have this lion here just like silhouetted out here in the foreground, and then have the other one as sort of like a compositional element that blocks out, because this is also a duplicate. I don't think we need it twice in the image. So this Chinese lion could be here, while the character walks in between these two things, and then he finds this gate to whatever in here as well. It reminds me quite a lot of like Journey, so I mean it's really nice. So let me just try to, without brutalizing this image too much, I'll just try to cut out this. Put it, we never really got that. Let me just crop it into the whatever we have here. So I said something like this. I'll tone it just down slightly, like this. Now it's becoming more like a foreground element. just get rid of this, like this. Take the character, get the character in here, maybe make it a bit bigger. No, not like that, like this. Make the character a bit bigger, get rid of this. Put up the tolerance, not all layers. Like this. Get rid of this. Take this away again. Collapse down, just to make sure that there's not too much. Not collapse down actually. Oop, I need this. I'm pressing too many things at once. I'll try to slow down a little bit. Get rid of this. So I would take this, and then just also, if I go to the node layer, maybe just tilt it a little bit. If it's an old kind of statue there, maybe it could be tilted a little bit, just also because then we get like this nice, like sort of lead in with the eye, so that we can sort of get this motion going here. So let me just get this, and just paint out this. Get rid of this. Something like that. So it's right now it's like super messy, but hopefully it's more like the thought behind what I'm trying to accomplish with this. Actually, what we could do. Let me just see. Maybe we could just have multiple statues actually. So we have this character walking on this ground here. But what we do have is like multiple of these statues leading the eye towards where this character is going. So this character is walking in the snow, and then we have several, maybe, I don't know if one here would be okay, then maybe one here. Get rid of this, get rid of this. So it's like a avenue of these statues that are sort of stuck here in the snow. And then we have the snow leading in. Like this, and then snow here, maybe a bit of vignette as you're having nicely pulled off here. So maybe some light here, and then you have this gate, and I would change it so it's more like in here, and I would probably scale it up just maybe it's nice to have it like extending through the frame. And take this and then just slide a little bit apart. Just make sure that this is a way to something like this, so that the light is shining here, and then probably the strongest should be down there, and then not there, not competing, and then light. So what you can see I was trying to do here, I was trying to take this and create a direction. So my direction right now is I'm leading the eye from here, and I'm going with the character on the path that he's moving on towards whatever goal the end of his journey is this here. If the eye wanders off, we have a blocking element that leads your eye back into the composition. And then of course this could be like a funnel down towards this end goal. So that's how I would approach it, like to take this and give it some sort of direction in a story. So let me just look at, you have another piece there. So I think it's quite, actually this is on the point that I was talking about, to have this to have the lead-in of the eye. Yeah, let's just grab this one, also say a little bit about this bob. So I get there's some sort of shapes hanging here, like these humans, but it seems a little bit artificial with the big landscape, so I might want to extend the land here, because also like perspective-wise, it seemed like this sort of either there's just something about this, or I'm just having the idea that the horizon line is somewhere higher up than it is. So maybe just what I'm looking at is that to close off a little bit behind here with some distant mountain, so that it's not just sky, because right now we want the people to watch. Yes, players. I keep on saying playing. This is not necessarily for a game, but so we want the viewer to look up here. So maybe just block off this button, because otherwise it seems like a funnel that just leads the viewer, the eye of the viewer, down into somewhere. So these guys seem like this. I know there are these ropes that are ginormous on these kind of temples, but maybe this is like a bit too ginormous. It seems a little bit like oversized to me. I would just size it down just a little bit, and it's nice that you have some of this in silhouette. Let me just like cast into shadow, and you can definitely play a little bit more with the silhouette here. So I would just add more details, more things, because if you just have this massive beam, what about support? What about stuff that has been there? Has this been a temple? Has there been a roof and stuff like that? So whatever kind of structure you can sort of attach to it, without of course overcomplicating it. But I think there's room for putting some more stuff in there, and then of course having these, I would maybe scale them up just a tiny bit more, just to so people are able to see what's going on. And you can go a little bit like storytelling. Maybe it's a family, so there's some kids hanging there. I know it's a bit morbid, but I mean, that is the sense of the scene. I get that it has this grim feeling. And also these trees, they look a little bit like they're taking, I would maybe take one of these away, because it's blocking quite a lot of the scene. I would prefer to actually just see more of the background, and just maybe you can collapse this into one tree and then go something like this. Just take it a bit away, because I know you want to see, have it be like you're looking from behind some trees and look at this scenery, but I wouldn't want to take too much focus away from this actual up here. Like you do here, you keep it on the side here. So you get a little bit more like some room here to showcase. Then, as I recommended one of the earlier portfolio reviews, is to showcase what is the story here, because right now I'm not quite sure what has been going on. Is this a temple? Is it a house? Is like what has this been? It's on a hill. Is there more ruins? Like what is it that we're actually looking at? Is it a shrine somewhere where somebody has been sacrificed? So try to figure out what kind of like story this is. Maybe there's more of these arches leading this way, and they've all been burned down, so it was like a shrine. And then down here you can have this like big bell that has fallen down and cracked. So, and instead these guys has been put up there as like the last protector of this sacred area. So try to come up with some sort of story where you like figure out what has actually been going on, because by telling the story like the last protectors, they protect this sacred bell, but then they were slain by these guys. As soon as you start to sell this, you also know, oh, I need a bell, oh, I need this to be a bell rope, oh, I need this to be a sacred tower. Maybe there's more towers, like maybe it's like an early warning system, so there's also a bell tower back here, and there's smoke coming from that place as well, and there's a bell tower behind here as well, so like one of these like torch towers, I think they had for the Chinese wall, where they could signal to each other, but just with sound, so sound cues to different towers. So this way I would start to make like story, like if this is a military fortification as well, it would also show with spikes maybe and more walls and stuff like that. So try to figure out what is the story behind this. So I think overall, like your work is in a okay shape. You're getting along. You have definitely some good painting skills, and I mean with this in mind, pushing for the story, pushing for composition, I would just recommend you to truck on. I mean just work. You'll only get better because it's in a good shape. So best of luck for everything you do, Guillermo, and yeah, talk to you. Bye.